Will told me, and I thought this was the coolest thing ever. He says to me that when you started this program, and you started back in October of 2013, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, and he says to me that the original goal, and I know this might sound silly to anybody that would be listening to this later, but if I understand correctly, $500 a month. That's what you originally started with, kind of an aim of 500 net profit. Is that right?
Well, that's right, and there's a story behind that. You see, here's the thing. I love internet marketing, and I've sure been a fan of your products for a while, and many other people's. I've tried, and I just haven't been able to fulfill the expectation on some of my attempts online before. And my wife was getting to the point where she was impatient with me. She lost faith in me, basically. And so I asked myself, how much would it take a month for me to win her back over to know that whatever passion I have, I can really make work. And that number was $500 a month. If I could make $500 a month, then my wife would get behind me in something that I'm so passionate about. But my true number to me personally was, if I can make 1,000 a month, even 1,500 a month, well, that's going to pay a few bills, Jason. I mean, that really would make a difference in my life. But the first step was to gain my wife's confidence back in me, and that was $500 a month. And
Love
I've
it.
never done that before. Never done that before.
I love that because it's exactly what we kind of preach here, and it's not as flashy as a bigger number, but I like where you got the number from. We said, how can I show my wife that I'm not just crazy here buying up these products and with nothing to show for it? So $500 was the original goal, right? And you
That's
started
right.
in October 2013. And just for context, how long have you been doing internet marketing previous to this? Like when did you start?
Really, I'd say I've been trying for about 3 years.
Okay.
3 years. On and off, 3 years.
How long did it get you? Did it take you to get your product listed online? First of all, I mean on Amazon.
Well, actually, we were in Austin at the event when I got the email from Amazon saying that my product went live. So it took me about 2.5 months, I'd say, to finally get the product there.
Okay, so yeah, in January in Austin, and so 2.5 months, and that counted everything, right? Label, ship it to Amazon, get the manufacturer, discover the product, write the product description, all that stuff. About 2.5 months we're looking at.
Yeah, now, to be honest, I was ready a lot sooner. In fact, my goal was to make it to the Christmas rush. I just didn't have the funds. That's what held me back. I didn't
Interesting.
have the funds to do the first purchase. Because, see, my approach was different right off the bat. You know, they show you that there's people who are making $100,000 a month. So there's people out there who are definitely making that money. But so for some of us, that kind of money a month is kind of hard to wrap our head around when we haven't even been able to make, 500 a month. I haven't even been able to make 200 a month. It was kind of hard. So right off the back, I said, you know what? No, let me get me. Let me get me. What do I need to do? And I needed to make, like I said, 500 a month and hopefully 1,500 a month for my first product. And that was a huge difference because as I went through module one, and you guys will see, when your audience signs up, they're going to go through module one or module two, and they'll see the different steps. They show you how to they give you homework. Hey, get me 20 products. Here's the criteria. Find 20 products. So instead of finding 20, I went out and found 50. Okay. And then they said, now bring it down to 3. I brought it down to 5. That's my criteria. The whole time in mind, though, was 1,500 a month. And see, here's why I was actually quicker or in a better position to pull the trigger than most people. Because when you get it down to 3, like they ask you to, people sometimes are really worried they're going to pick the wrong product. Because they're thinking of their 100K, 50K a month product. My gosh, one of these is going to be a 50K product. Which one is it? I don't want to take a wrong product. But that doesn't happen to me. That didn't happen to me. I got it down to 5, and I applied all the correct filters they told me. All 5 of those was $1,500 a month product at least. So you see, there was
Mm,
no wrong product. I brought it down to 5. There was no longer a wrong product. It was just a
interesting.
matter of which one did I like to start off with. So I was ready. It's just I didn't have quite the money to make my first one. And we're not talking a lot of money. My first purchase from my supplier cost me just under $700. So it wasn't huge. But it was around Christmas, so things were a little tight. But once I got past Christmas, I was ready, and I just picked one. So the truth is, I could have probably been up and running in 6 weeks. But because of those reasons, it took me a little longer.
And I
I'm a
love
real
that.
guy. I've got real bills and I've got real restraints, so it took me a little bit
Well,
more.
and I love that, Raul, because first of all, 2.5 months doesn't is not that long of a time, really, to start a whole new business with a physical, private labeled product and all that kind of stuff. But the other thing is, you didn't let a small thing hold you back from a big opportunity, which is obviously this had made it very tight for you, and it was in October, which is right before Thanksgiving and right before Christmas, and you didn't have a clear idea of exactly when you're going to have money to order inventory, even though the inventory order for the minimum quantity, in your case and in many cases, is very low. You didn't quite know when that was going to be, but that didn't stop you, and that you didn't use that as an excuse to say I'm not going to invest in this and I'm just going to let it go by me because the money's tight, right? And I think, and I wanted to point that out just because that's such an important lesson for anybody. That, I mean, just real quickly, like in 60 seconds or less, even though the money was super tight for you to sign up for this thing, why did you sign up for it anyway?
Jason, I got to tell you, because I've seen a lot of offers. I mean, I was on a lot of people's lists, and I saw a lot of offers. And at least the one good thing that I can say about many failed offers is that when the right offer comes, when the real deal comes, you recognize it. There is no doubt. Your heart is pounding. Your mind is going, this is it. If this doesn't work, nothing else is going to work. And I got to tell you, but your bonuses made it an absolute no-brainer. This train was never going to come around again. That was it for me, and that's why I went ahead and I pulled the trigger on, even though it was going to put me in a difficult situation. Because you know what, I found a way. I've got 4 kids, yet I found a way to make my payments on everything, including ASM, and I found a way to come to pick up the money because you're in the community and you hear how well everybody's doing and how excited. That was a motivation for me to pick up an extra shift at work. It was a motivation for me to maybe cut down on some other expenses so I could make this happen because this was and it's changed my life.
Bingo, bingo. That's awesome. Okay, so you get the product up there 2.5 months after you started this program, which I think is still a very quick amount of time. Regardless, you get this product listed. How quickly did you reach your $500, your goal for $500 a month?
I think it took me 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
5 weeks to meet my initial goal.
5 weeks to meet your initial goal.
Because I am not counting my friendly sales. I'm talking pure, organic, real profit Amazon sales, not the ones that I used as part of the tactics to get my product going. I mean, I could have shown a screenshot that showed my goal a lot earlier, but I'm real. I'm the kind of person, if it goes golfing and I have a bad shot, I count it. I'm not one of those. Because how am I going to get better if I don't use real numbers?
Right.
So I use real.
So 5 weeks, net profit, incredibly fast turnaround time. I mean, very rarely it's where you sit down and meet a goal and say, in 1 month I'm going to be, monthly I'd like to be here, and you almost in real time in 1 month you hit that thing. And was it what you expected? I mean, was it as hard as you thought it'd be? Was it easier? Was it harder? I mean, the process to get from 0 to 500 net in 5 weeks. Can you walk me through that a little bit?
So what did I do? I did exactly what they said, and that is, and I used one of your amazing secret tools. That really catapulted me up to like page 4. And when I first launched my product, my category only went 20 pages deep, and my product was nowhere to be seen on 20 pages. So at first I was a little frightened, but as I started going, as week 1, as week 2 progressed, I wound up on 17, I wound up on 12, I wound up on 10. And then before I knew it, I was in the top 5, and my first organic sales started to come in. And that's a big deal. I mean, every time I see someone post in the forum, I made my first organic sale, I celebrate with them because it feels so good.
Yep. So you get it up to 500 within 5 weeks. Then what happens?
Well, here's the thing. Everything you guys told me was true. This thing starts winding up. It took me maybe 5 weeks to make my first 1,000 sales. It probably took me another 2 weeks to double that. In fact, I hit my 2K badge probably just slightly less than 2 weeks after I hit my 1K badge. And here I am. I'm hoping for the real 1,500, which is to me was a big deal. And I set a goal. I said, okay, from here to my birthday, which was about 2 months afterwards, I said, I got to average 3 sales a day. That's it. That's my goal. Because according to my margins, if my average is 3 sales a day, I make my $1,500. So my goal was to do that by my birthday. Well, my birthday came, and I had actually hit 7K in sales.
Wow.
Yeah, to me, that's beyond success to me, because my concept, my perception of success was if I could bring home 1,500 a month and 500. So is my wife a believer? Well, like, yeah, she's already saying, when are you going to put out your second product? When are you going to put out your third product? Which I'm actually already working on. But yeah, she's behind me 100% now. And I'll tell you what, my sales, believe it or not, could have been much higher, but one thing kept getting in the way, and that's I kept running out of inventory, and that's always slowed me down. It's just I was tight on money, so I've always reinvested my profits, and I've never thrown another dime. Once I bought my first shipment, I've never thrown another dime at this, and I've just reinvested and reinvested. The downfall on that is you tend to run out of inventory. The upside of that is I no longer had to go and tell my wife, well, we need to throw more money at this, and her saying, well, when is this going to stop? I don't have to go there. So I took the safer route. But this will be the last time I run out, because, the groups, the Facebook group that you guys have is so vital. Through that, I got some great advice, and they taught me how to ask for terms. So because of some of the stuff I learned there, because of some of the people I have access to, I was able to go back to my supplier and make sure that running out would never happen again. But I did my math, and my math says that had I never run out, right now I'd be at 15K a month in sales.
15K a month, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you live and you learn. And
Yeah.
so if I understand correctly, now you're doing around 3,500 net profit per month, right?
That is my last 30 days. That is correct.
And do you work a full-time job still?
Yes, I do. I have
And
a full-time job.
I love that, by the way. So full-time job, and so you go, you work full-time, and then you come home, and how much time do you spend on your Amazon business right now?
Well, at the beginning, I spent a little bit more time because it took some learning and it took time watching the videos and making phone calls. So the first month, I did put in some time. Having said that, probably in the last 4 weeks, which is when I've gotten the bulk of my sales, I probably spent, I want to say, 1 hour a week, maybe making a video, maybe doing a little bit of traffic, and then one day a week, and the rest of the time it's just checking stats because it's so fun. It's so fun to check stats.
So, is it 1 hour a week or one day a week, or how many hours a week if you just had to guess?
No, right now working on it, actually physical sitting down and working on it, I'm only doing an hour a week.
An hour a week.
And yeah, right now that's all I'm doing. Now, as I'm starting to release my second product, I'll put a little more time into it. It'll take a little more time. But to sustain and grow what I'm already doing at this point, I'm doing about an hour a week. That doesn't include all the stat checking. That actually, but there's many ways. Some people send their product directly to Amazon. I do not. I have it sent directly to me because I package it in a special way that my sourcer doesn't want to. So I package it. So when my product arrives here, which I do about once or twice a month, I spend 3 hours on that.
Okay, cool. So it'd be safe to say that, with the approach that you're taking, Raul, that even if somebody had a full-time job, this is very, very manageable in a very short amount of part-time. Now, there are obviously times when you have to time block a big upfront time to find the product, do the research, and then that's done once. And then after that, it
Right.
kind of just runs on its own, and it gets bigger and bigger because, let's face it, are you the number one ranked product for your main keyword that you're selling on Amazon right now?
Oh, no, no. I have a lot of growth. There's
A
a lot of
lot of
room for
growth.
growth. My numbers are beyond what I need, and yet still there's a lot of growth. I keep going between page 2 and the bottom of page 1. So there's a lot of room.
Lot of room, a lot of room. Now, I think it was you that Will was telling me this, that the standard model that they teach to target best-selling products in a category between 0 and 100. Is that your approach when you're looking at this product and the future products that you're going to put out there?
No, because I had a different mindset right off the bat. If you want that 100K product, you probably want it somewhere in that range, but that wasn't what I needed. And I think I'll tell you what really helped me with that is when you shared the results and the ongoing results of your first product. One of the things that I learned quickly is that according to Will, that product ranged anywhere from a BSN, which is the bestseller ranking, of 2,000 to 10,000. And while your product ranged in that, you were still making anywhere from 5 to 34 sales a day, depending on where you were.
Yep.
And I knew automatically that I only needed 3 sales a day, which meant that I could find a product and range it in the thousands, 5,000, 7,000, 2,000, 10,000, and it would meet my goal. I would be successful. And so when I looked at the product, I stayed away from the low 100s. I just went higher, and I just made sure that several top sellers in my category were all in the thousands range, less than 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
And that was not hard to find because that's kind of untapped territory. In fact, as I go back down to my second and third product, I was able to bring up a list pretty quickly of products that range in that area that fits and model. Because here's the best part. Yes, I made 1,500. Yes, that was a great goal. But the best part is I can do it again. I know how to do it again. 1,500 was an important number because that's 1,500 times 1, and then times whatever products I want. If I need to make 5,000 a month, I'll do 2 to 3 more products. Of course, that's not counting that they run away like this product did, and I'm sure some of others will. But that's why my approach was so different. Because once I do the research and I bring it down to like 5 products, there is no wrong product, Jason. Because according to my research, they all will sell at least 3 products a day that will all meet my $1,500 a month goal.
That's amazing. And by the way, I mean, how do you find a product listed in, say, like an 800 to 1,000 bestseller rank? I mean, how do you do that?
Well, that's where your tools come in. That's where your secret tools come in, and that made all the difference for me. I mean, sure, I could do it the long way, but who wants to work the long way and still not sure if they get the right results, And that's where it's been invaluable. I mean, the best decision I did was to sign up through you guys, because there's no way I would have had the success as fast and as encouraged as I have if I had not gone straight through you.
Awesome. Well, that's fantastic. Parting words here. We're going to wrap this up here. If somebody's thinking about signing up through us or through somebody else or anywhere, what would you say to them if you could sit down and talk to them and encourage them because they weren't sure they were going to sign up or not?
Well, let me talk to me. Let me talk to me back in October. And I said, I know you've tried several things before. But I know how important it is for you to meet your goals and your dreams, and whatever you're doing right now is not working. This is the real deal. I know it's a challenge because it's an investment, and I know it's a big step of faith. But your heart is telling you. It's the rhythm of your heart. It's the pounding of your heart. It's that little voice in the back that's telling you this is the right deal, and it is. There's no doubt about it. But I've never come across a program that have even close to the success rate of its students as this one does. And you hear in the news all the time how big Amazon is getting. It's already massive, but that thing keeps growing and growing and growing, and we're still at the front lines. Now is the time to make that decision. That would be the best time to make your smartest decision, your smartest investment, and you won't be sorry. I would not be where I am today. I would still be looking for the next thing if I had not signed up for Amazon. And here's the thing, I run into so many people who wish they had signed up, who wish they had done it. It would have made the big difference. You asked me if anybody can do it who has a full-time job. Listen, not only do I have a full-time job, I'm a nurse in a critical care unit. That's a lot of work. Not only that, but I was asked to go back to school. So now I'm currently back at university trying to I'm getting my bachelor's degree. I have 4 kids. I help my wife run a side business. We volunteer at church. So can anyone find a time to do this? Hey, if anybody with this much underpaid can do it, trust me, you can do it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time out to do this with me. I got so much good stuff to use here.
Good deal. Thank you guys. I mean, you guys are the real deal, and I couldn't be happier.